Good morning, one and all. How are you? Oh. Morning, morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Is there anybody there? How are you today? Are you okay? I swear this camera on StreamYard puts everything in reverse because it's throwing me out. It's making me confused where I should be. Not that that's unusual. Sorry, Chunk. I didn't mean to kick you, baby. Sorry, baby boy. Didn't know you was under the table. Oh, I'll just kick the dog. Ideal. Morning, Kaza. How are you? Morning, Danielle. Morning, Sarah. Now, Sarah's a new name I've not heard before. Hello. How are we all? Are we okay? It's Wednesday. It's the 28th of September. And it's 10:30 in the morning. Yes, I think it's Wednesday. Never entirely sure in my life. Oh dear. How are we today? Feeling very... Yeah, it's gone a little chilly, has it not? Yes, it's hard to believe that literally a few weeks ago we were in 30 degrees of temperature, I have to say. Yeah, everybody's feeling cold this morning. Yep. Cold, cold, and more cold. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure you're all going to be really happy to know that I started painting again. Not that you knew I'd stopped painting, probably. But when I found out the Queen died, I don't know what it's got, why that should have any impact on... Well, I know it had an impact on me, but I don't know why it should have an impact on my painting. But I stopped. Literally, the minute I heard, I sort of ran off to check the television to make sure I wasn't imagining things or that the Facebook post I'd seen wasn't dodgy. And, yeah, I literally and prior to that, I had a paintbrush in my hand every day since the sort of midway through lockdown. So I finally got painting again yesterday. It's not finished yet, but I did that and I was a bit chuffed. It's not the best I've ever done in my life, but I was chuffed that I'd got started again, so to speak. So Mr. Bunny Wabbit got me going again. Oh, thanks, Kaza. That's kind of you. It's not the most beautiful I've ever done, but I'm just happy that I'm back at it, so to speak. Yeah. Thank you. There's a certain wistful look in his eye that I'm quite happy with. The mouth needs sorting. Mouth went a bit wrong, so I sort of started to get rid of it, and then I realised I had to go and pick Kelly up. So this fuzzy mouth here needs sorting. This bit here needs sorting out, but I'm happy with this, the way that the colours and everything came to, you know, the way it's all sort of blended down here. No, I'm not talented, Sarah. It's just time. That's all it is. It's time. It's it's repetition. I've never... Well, my mum was... I say was. I don't know. She might still be. I haven't seen her in 20 years. But my mum's very creative. But I think she was a hard act to live up to, let's put it that way. And I don't think being told at school that I was crap at maths, I was crap at maths as well, crap at art was really... So my life has had no art in it, really, until lockdown. And I think lockdown, everybody was a bit bored, weren't they? And I just thought, well, finally I've got time to do something I want to do. And that was it. And so I literally, like I said, prior to the Queen dying, since... when was lockdown? Was lockdown 2019 or 2020? I lost a year. 2020, I think it wasn't it. So literally for the last 2 years, solid. Yeah, I think it was February 2020 I started, wasn't it? So literally 2 years solid. That's all I've done. Not all I've done. That God, but all I've concentrated on it. Put it that way. I've literally practiced day in and day out. So I think if you practice anything long enough, I think you get better at it. Yeah. The dog is staring at me like I've gone entirely doolally tap. I guess he's used to me sitting silently all day, every day. He's probably thinking that daft old bat's talking to herself again. Yes. I am mad, aren't I? I am slightly deranged, but I think it probably helps. Here's a conversation starter for you. I was watching one of my YouTube channels. I wouldn't say it was one of my favourites, but somebody I catch up on now and again. Resort TV One, who do live broadcasts around Walt Disney World in Florida. And I'm interested in Hurricane Ian. Want to know what's happening. You know, it's concerning for people. And when you've been to an area like Florida, I guess it resonates more, doesn't it, when you know the area in question. And I was watching his sort of live last night from Walt Disney World, and he was saying, yeah, they're shutting Thursday, Friday. No, Wednesday, Thursday. What day is it today? Wednesday. They're shutting Wednesday, Thursday, possibly Friday. That was it. Hi, Nicola. Hi, Gillian. You're not the Gillian McLeod, are you? Was it Gillian McLeod that fainted on I Must Leverage Get Me Out of Here? Was that Gillian McLeod? I might be imagining that. Anyway, he was saying that he's been getting a lot of hate recently for the fact he makes money from YouTube, because he's a teacher by day. And when he's off and when he's got time, him and his sister do, you know, the parks, Florida parks, go around sort of doing tours and, you know, and a lot of people love them because, you know, if you're going to Florida, it's a good way of sort of, it's quite daunting if you're going to Florida, in as much as there's so much to do and so many angles to it, that it's good to have somebody on the ground that you can sort of learn from. And they sort of fulfill that. And once you've been there, you then watch them anyway, because it's nostalgic and it's like, wish I was there sort of touch. Anyway, I digress. And he was saying he's been getting a lot of hate because he makes money. And it got me thinking that I personally experienced a little bit of that way back when. On the subject of making money from YouTube. It seems to be quite a divisive subject. Thoughts? Feelings? From my perspective, creating content for YouTube is time consuming, because not only is there the time involved in whatever you're filming, but I think people forget there's also the edit process of getting it suitable for putting out there, uploading it, and so on and so forth. Oh, sorry, Julian. It's the muck. I probably didn't get any further than the muck. I do apologise. Sorry. Yeah, you put lots of time and you put lots of effort into it, most people. And if you are lucky enough to get monetized, as we were, I'm going to say we haven't made any money from YouTube in a long time. We were making money when we were sort of at 1,000 subs, sort of fairly regularly. If 1,000 views, should I say, per video each sort of time we put one up, which is going back quite a way now. So it's sort of fairly irrelevant for me at the moment, but it did get me thinking. And he then said, morning Rose Petal, that he started it because his wife had medical needs, and they had to pay the bills, and their insurance didn't cover it. And then he said, oh, you know, she's got fibromyalgia. So it triple resonated with me, because I'm thinking, yep, YouTube creator, yep, had the same issues, yep, got fibromyalgia, check. Yeah. What are your thoughts on people making money from YouTube? Do you think it's par for the course because it's an occupation? Do you think it's unfair? I think a lot of his hate was coming from, is it super chat? I don't even really understand what super chat is, but I'm assuming from the way it comes up on his feed, because he's live for hours, and as he's walking around, you know, he'll say, oh, $2 from, and then he'll name somebody. It's pure jealousy. My daughter has her own YouTube channel. She's worked hard with it for 3 years, and she gets a lot of hate from others at school and even adults. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Ellie had the same. Ellie had a lot of hate over our YouTube channel. And that's partially why it was scaled down and why she stepped away from it, because she was getting taunted and teased about it. And that's part of why I stopped calling her Baby Bear, really, to look sort of when we're live or whatever, because she was getting it shouted down the street at her and taunted. And instead of being something pleasurable and like a pet name, it's turned into like a stick to beat her with. So I don't tend to refer to her as Baby Bear too often anymore, for that very reason. It's an interesting one. I fail to grasp what upsets people about it, if I'm honest. I guess I'm going to say that because I have made money from YouTube. I mean, even when we were on like 1,000 subs, was it a day? I think it was daily vlogging, wasn't I then? When it was around 1,000 subs a day, I think we were making about 100 quid a month. So I guess 1,000 views daily sort of equates to 100 quid a month. So I guess big YouTubers are making hundreds, if not thousands a month. But is it not like anything in life? If you put in the time, and there's always an element of luck to anything, whether you get the right job, whether you get that promotion, so on, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand people's issue. I don't get why people are upset about it. You're getting a service, so we all pay for service generally. You can see somebody's put time and effort into something for your entertainment. Well, we all pay for cinema tickets or theatre tickets, so I don't see that jump being too far. Some people are making a living at it. So if you're, like, for instance, I watch a lot of paranormal channels, and they spend a lot of time, money, trekking around the country, going to various abandoned buildings. I can sit back and see. They've got travel expenses. They've got hotel expenses. They've got their time. Morning, Scooter. I'd be interested in somebody that doesn't agree with it to come forward and just tell me their perspective, because I literally am struggling to understand why it would offend somebody so badly. I mean, this bloke on Resort TV1 is the nicest of blokes. He's a school teacher. Him and his sister started it to pay for his wife's medical bills, essentially. I don't get what the hate's about. And I guess Kaz is probably right. Guess it is jealousy, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. What else caught my attention in the news? Hurricane Ian, obviously. There wasn't a lot of news around this morning, I didn't think, other than the government bollocksing up our economy. Hey, somebody from the over the side of the pond. Hey, Pacific State Northwest. It's nice to have you here. Lovely. Seattle. You're not in the path of any oncoming hurricanes, are you? I'm sorry, my geography is crap. No, I don't think you are. It's Florida, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah, I was literally just saying, actually, it's a slow news day, I feel, because my news briefing on my electronic device was the UK economy being bollocksed up by the recent budget. The International Money Foundation saying we're all doomed. Yeah, I'm stupid. No, but we have one far smoke. Oh God, what they need to do is redirect the hurricane your way, and that'll deal with that, wouldn't it? If only life was so simple. Yeah, and Hurricane Ian was the only other news, it seemed. There didn't seem to be an awful lot going on, to be fair. Oh, and Kwasi Kwarteng, our Chancellor, one of his fellow MPs had called him, did she call him a token black or a something like that? She was deemed to have been racist anyway. And I think that was about it. There was no other news to get in the world. Oh, other than the temperature in the UK is like plummeted from like 26 to 16. Irish Laura, howdy. Oh, no fears. Laura's here. No fear, Laura's here. Nice to see you. Nice. We need the rain bad. Well, it's a shame we can't redirect these things, isn't it? What is the planet coming to, people? Tell me. If people aren't starting to wake up and see that something drastically wrong, there is something drastically wrong, they must be in the same camp as the people that bloody think YouTubers shouldn't earn money. I'm going to put all these people in a camp on their own. All these people with radical ideas. Kwarteng is trashing the pound, lowest level against the dollar in 37 years. Yeah, tell me about it. I was about to say something that begins with the W. I just don't understand the state of this country. I really do not. The UK is fecked up. And I said fecked with an E. Country Joe! How are you, my gorgeous lady? Long time no see. Yes, I'm back at it. I got back on the horse. Why am I so nutty? This is a question I'd like to know. Oh, you got family in Birmingham? Ooh, I was born near Birmingham. And sometimes, when I'm not thinking about it too hard, I can slip into a Brummie accent. Bring back the 80s when life seemed so much simpler. Was it though? Didn't we have the miners' strikes and all sorts going on in the 80s? I don't know. Much as I love this country for certain reasons, because obviously it's where I was born and raised, so on, I don't think I'd be too sad to leave it. And that's sad, isn't it? Yes, these people who don't think YouTube is hard work, I'm good, sweetheart, and it's so good to see you back. Oh, bless you. That's really kind of you. No, you obviously heard that convo. I despair at people that cannot grasp that YouTubers are entitled to earn money from what they do. I mean, I fell into this trap a couple of years ago and had my fingers trapped in the door, didn't I? How dare you suggest that your time is worth any money to anybody? Basically, I mean, if people don't think people should be paid for YouTube, oh, bless you. Where in Birmingham? Rose Petal Pacific. Where in Birmingham? I'm in Birmingham. Rose says she's in Birmingham. She'd like to talk to you, Northwest Pacific, wherever you are. She wants to know where in Birmingham your family are. Ooh, oh. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. It bamboozles me, really, that people cannot grasp that if you're putting time and effort into something, that your time is worth being paid for. I don't get that. There are great YouTubers like GTV Japan who make great solo documentaries, and they do deserve money. The area by Cadbury's Museum. People can be so unkind, Lise. Yeah. Just picking you up on that Pacific State Northwest. You say that people that make great documentaries deserve the money. So what about dickheads like me that go around just talking gibberish and film their walks or do lives? Are you saying that we don't deserve to earn money? Question mark. Should I not talk like that? You see, I don't know. I'm assuming because I lived in the Midlands until I was 3, that somewhere deep in the back of my brain, it started to learn the English language with that twang, because it doesn't take me an awful lot, and I get better as I do it longer, to drop into that Birmingham, or Warwick, where I was dragged up. It doesn't take me long to drop into that accent, and I don't know why, because I've never learnt the accent. So it's got to be something back in your brain, isn't it? We should get danger money, no joke. Actually, there's so much hate that comes with it. I think we should. No, fair point. Yeah, I have the twang, but toned it down. Yeah, like I say, I just assume that our brains are that clever that it started to think, well, that's how I'm going to talk when I grow up. And then I was moved down south, and I expect my brain was utterly bamboozled by the Plymouth twang. I think you have a nice accent. Do I have an accent, though? I would rather have your accent. What would you class my accent as? I have lived in so many different parts. Oh, that's a lie. I've lived in Birmingham. I've lived in Plymouth. I can't do a Plymouthian accent. Plymouth. I've lived in Somerset. I've lived in Dorset. So mostly south, I guess. You hear Bristol and Plymouth. You hear Plymouth. Oh my God. Now that's an insult. I never thought I sounded like a Plymouthian, that's for sure. And I've never lived in Bristol, but I guess it's just generally south, isn't it? I guess a southern accent is what you're saying, I think. Interesting. It's funny, isn't it? We all think that we don't have an accent, probably, but... Irish Laura, anyone got nice plans for the weekend? I would say a bit of Dorset, Lisa. Really? Oh, a bit of Dorset. Yeah, I suppose I've been here the longest out of any of them. I've been here since... When did I join the cops? I've been here since 89. 1990. I've been here the longest. Do you think a particular YouTube family who will remain unnamed should be travelling as much as they are? Do you think the kids should be in school? I'm not sure if you're talking about the ones that begin with the singular. Ooh, exciting. Moving into a new house. I'm not sure if you mean he who should not be named because I'll get sued again. Or are you talking about the family that she's like pregnant all the time and having child after child after child after child after child after child and still staying slim? I don't know which family you're talking about. depends on whether they're being educated at home, and I think it's I don't know who we're talking about, to be honest, but having had to take Ellie out of school towards the end and educate her at home, I guess I'm a bit touchy on the subject, because not all kids that aren't educated in school are thick or uneducated, I guess. And I guess there could be an argument for the fact that travelling the world gives you a greater degree of education than any school, on the basis that school solely concentrates on the sort of topic that's going to do you sod all use in life, really, other than English and maths. I mean, what is Ellie ever going to do with a blinking geography or a photography qualification? Or I don't know. There seems to be an awful lot of emphasis on just getting as many GCSEs as you can to prove that you're intelligent. Well, there are a lot of people in this world that have made it big in the world, Alan Sugar, without any qualifications or doing well at school. So going to school doesn't necessarily give you a badge of honour that you're going to do well in life. But I don't really know. Oh, that family. I didn't even know they were travelling these days. Morning, Marie. I agree that, Lisa, I wish homeschooling had been a thing with Lucy who was young, because watching her be bullied every day was heartbreaking. Indeed, I agree. Scooter, I think they don't put any importance in education. Morning, Lisa. Yes, she said, I'm moving to New UK. Sorry, I was just scrolling back from the comments to make sure I hadn't missed anybody. Monty, shut up, mate. Thank you. I mean, I think there's a much as I don't like the family that should not be named for legal reasons. Other than the fact that, I must not say it because I probably will get sued again. There's quite an education in travelling the world, but it depends how much work they're doing in between. That said, I expect the amount of money they're making, they could probably set them up for life without ever getting a job. I don't know. I'm not staying as with my family. Come to show some support and love. Have a great day. Take care, darling. Much as I'd like to throw hate on that particular family, got to be balanced. And I guess nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, and if you're not there 24/7, unless they're filming 24/7, you don't actually know what they're doing, do you? I mean, they might film and then go home and study. I don't know. It's difficult to say. I mean, there's a degree of me wanting to just say, whoa, but that wouldn't be fair of me, would it? They never do anything in these countries, though, Lisa. Always just beach and the shops. Yeah, but is that all they film? That's what I'm saying. We film the content that we think people want to see, don't we? The stuff that will get us the most views. So is that what they film because that's what's most popular? It wouldn't be particularly entertaining, for instance, playing devil's advocate, to put a camera on a kid sat at a desk doing their schoolwork, would it? Yeah, I mean, we still live in a world where we get to choose, mostly get to choose what's best for our families, don't we? Part of me wishes I'd had the gumption, balls, whatever it would have taken to get up and do the same thing, really. Yeah, I mean, we can only hope. And like I keep saying to Ellie, at the end of the day, there is no age limit on study. If you want to go on and do more, I could go back to school now. You know, I could go and get my maths O level that I never got. There's all sorts. You know, there's no limit on education. Go and do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it, as long as it's safe and it doesn't impact anybody else. God, look at my double chin. That's really disconcerting, that jowl there. Look at that. And Jabba the Hutt was the person I was trying to think of the other day. And I look at myself in the viewfinder. All I see is Jabba the Hutt. Anyway, another half an hour has rolled on past. Exactly, CJ. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd like to hope they've got the sense to get their kids an education, even if it's a basic one. But I'm pretty certain they've probably got enough dough in the bank nowadays to set them up for life anyway, if they wanted to. Can't believe I've just stuck up for them, to be honest. Ellie will do well. Hey, Laurie's life, my darling. I hope so. But as long as she's happy and healthy, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. So I was thinking tomorrow, as long as it doesn't clash with anybody, because I remember oh wow, sorry, just seen Country Joe's message. Wow, that's cool. Fully qualified primary school teacher. That's exciting. Yay, let's have a round of applause for Lucy. That's good news, isn't it? That's brilliant. Every child and situation is different. I suppose saying that I wish I was travelling as a kid rather than sitting in a stuffy classroom with 30 odd kids staring at a board. Exactly. Freedom of speech seems to have gone out the window. Yeah, unless you're me and you've got a big gob. Yeah, before I forget, because I am pretty thick. Tomorrow, Ellie's got an appointment in the morning, so if we're going to do anything, it'll have to be later in the day. So, and I've also had a couple of people over the pond that are 5 hours behind us say that they sort of miss the lives. So I was wondering whether anybody would fancy sort of afternoon tea, sort of early dinner. I don't know. Thursday / Friday, because Ellie works late on Thursdays and Fridays, or she's off. So she has Friday, Saturday off one week, Saturday, Sunday the next. But irrespective of that, if she's not off, she's on a late. So it would be nice to have the morning free to do things with her. Much as I know you all like seeing her. So I was wondering whether we did sort of an afternoon tea as opposed to coffee. I drink tea anyway. What sort of time on a Thursday then? If it was to be afternoons, early evening, or even evening, does anybody have any preferences over time? And I suspect people might have a little longer to hang around in the afternoons, evenings. What do we think? Sounds fab, hun. If you schedule the live, I'll share it out. Oh, bless you. I love you so much. Evening is good. So if we were to say evening, what time would be good? So are we talking 6, 7, 8? What is the best time for people? Any time from 4 p.m. is good for me. Yeah, you get to that computer and get working, Missy. I know you. I know you. You're meant to be working, aren't you? I know you now. It was good having Kazza with us yesterday, wasn't it? I really enjoyed having a bit of company. I'm going to do that again soon. See, I know. I know what you're up to. I also wondered whether anybody fancied doing like some sort of daft quiz or something, just to get all our brains ticking over. Anytime and a bit later will suit the USA contingent for sure. 7 p.m. shows the best on my analytics. Well, and on that note, because I love you so much, I'm going to say 7 p.m. tomorrow, people. We'll give it a go. And if we like it, Thursdays and Fridays, or as long as I'm not clashing or upsetting anybody else, because I've fallen into this trap before. I don't want to upset anybody else that does a live in the evenings. Yeah, Thursdays, Fridays, because I've had several people message me and say they can't make the daytime ones because of their place in the States. I've had other people that obviously work saying that it's sad they can't make it. So I thought if we share the love around a little bit, so we have Monday to Wednesday as our 10:30 slot, and then maybe Thursday, Friday slightly later. And if it's evenings, we can go a bit longer. I'll start work at home, so it would be interesting. I'll start work. Love a quiz. Yeah. I might sort out Friday evenings as quiz evening or something, just to jazz it up and get everybody sort of a little bit more stimulated, because we could all do with a bit of stimulation in life, let's face it. Okay. So I'm going to basically 8 a.m. my time. Oh, see, I can't cope with everybody being on different time zones. Mind blown. 8 a.m. So you're, oh God, I can't cope. You're way behind us then, aren't you? So what time is it where you are now? 8 a.m. I'm bemused. So 8 p.m. So is it like 9 p.m. there now then? Oh God, can't cope. Can't cope. Hey Dad, you want to come up? Yeah. Come on then, come and say hello to everybody. Oh. Say hello. Say hello. This is Jack. Fat Jack. 3:12 a.m. right now. Oh. Go to bed, mate. Go to bed. 3 a.m. Oh my God. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my God, that's awful. Go to bed, mate. Go to bed. Oh Lord. Well, we'd like to have your company, but I understand the difficulty when we're on such contrasting. You just randomly wake up and randomly tune into some mad old bint in England. Fair enough. That's fair enough. That's the way it is, isn't it? Right. The boys are waiting for their walk. It's not raining at the moment. Is it due to rain? I don't know. This is my little poochie woochie woo. Jack is adorable. Jack is very thick. I don't know about adorable. Are you thick, Jack? Yeah. You're not very intelligent, are you? Money for old rope. Yeah, that's my book. I'll put it there. I thought somebody might notice it. I thought somebody might spot it. Money for old rope. I'll send you a copy for an absolute fortune. Oh, I can't put it down now. Look at that face. I know. He does grin when he wants food. That's about the only change you'll ever see in that face. Don't shake your head at me. And he shakes his head when he's not happy. Did you all see this? I'm chuffed with this. I did this yesterday. My first one in ages. A cutie. He's thick as... He's very thick. The cutest one in the house is the one over there on the sofa. He's the cutie. He's the cutie, aren't you? Archie's the cutie. Don't think I had Archie the last time I spoke to you, Country Joe, did I? Cool, that dates it because Archie's 3 now. That's so good. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, Country Joe, I have a whole basket of them. A whole basket of them. I just paint them and then they sit here. I just paint and paint and paint and paint. I'm trying to find another nice one. There's lots of really bad ones. I can't find another one. Yeah, there's a whole basket there. I was selling them for a while, but I've given up on that. Another dog. Woman by the sea. What else can I offer you? Oh, this is one of my personal favourites. I like this one a lot. That's one of my better ones. I can't even get it into camera shot. There we go. Like that, everybody? Yeah, that's one of my better ones. What is it with this camera? It's just so back to front and upside down on this channel, on this app. Yeah, this one's my favourite. This one is my favourite. Yeah, there's just like literally, as you can see, a basket full of them. Going nowhere fast. You should definitely video you painting these. People love that, and there are a lot of channels that do well selling them. Wow, the eye. What, on the bird? We're talking about the bird? Is that the one you were talking about? This one. Is that the one you were talking about? No. Yeah, the trouble is, Country Joe, that one I knocked out in a couple of hours yesterday, which is fine, but it's time-lapsing it and the editing. And sometimes some of the more complex ones can take me days and you can't film that. Yeah, so much life in it. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's literally just something that lockdown brought me. And it's quite a blessing, really, because I love my painting. And if you suffer with stress or anxiety like I do, it's a godsend. It really is. It's a real helper. Okay, people, I've run over as per normal. Yeah, the editing for that would just be, and if I knew somebody was watching, that would be even worse. You see, I had an Etsy shop and I was selling, I don't know, 1 a week maybe. But the pressure I felt from that, and it's ridiculous, the pressure of thinking that everything I painted had to be good enough to sell. I don't know, it just had an impact, so I pulled it down. I have pulled it down. I just can't, it ruins it. Yeah, it ruined it for me. So and I was doing commissions, like people asked me to paint their dogs, and reasonably successful. I did Monty. Oh God, nearly knocked you all over. I don't know if you can see on top of the fridge there. There's, oh God, here we go again. There's Monty up there. But reasonably successful at it. But oh, Spy Jack, nice to know you. So I stopped. Yeah, Monty's up there, look, bless him. Up on my fridge, looking majestic, along with all the other crap and crisps and shit. So, yeah, I've decided, I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. I might give them away. I might take them to a car boot and flog them. Because there is literally, well, I think I had about 112 different listings on Etsy. So they go on at infinitum. That's a dog I did for somebody that they didn't want. Yeah, it's oh, I'll tell you what, I had some troll. You're talking about YouTube and people being nasty. I had somebody that I'm utterly convinced came from our tittle tattle bunch of friends who asked me to paint 5 dogs. 5. And it took me forever. And she was going to give me 50 quid for it. And then as soon as I'd finished them, a message to say I'd finished them. She even sent halfway through, how much longer are you going to be? And then she even started talking about the frame she was going to put them in. She had me well and truly over. And then, yeah, she pulled her name and everything off and never heard from her again. So, I mean, that wasted days and days of my time, which didn't really... I know this is going to be bizarre, but this is one of my favourites. This is the manic squirrel. And this was done in about an hour. This was literally one of those... this one. The manic squirrel. I really like the manic squirrel. It's a more normal one. More normal. Yeah. Now this one I don't understand either. Woman sent me a picture of a close-up of her cat and then decided she didn't like this. So I've got this stuck with me. I quite like it. I know it's different, but I like it all the same. Still is big. It actually is bigger than my head, isn't it? That'd make a good thumbnail, wouldn't it? Me and the cat. Yeah, I like the squirrel too. This is another one of my favourites that wasn't wanted. Yeah. So there are so many pitfalls to it. There is an exhaustion. There is that. I think what got to me, and I think what the woman, I think she saw me on one of my YouTube blogs saying, you know, thinking I was the big I am of a painter. And I don't think I've ever said that. But there was a stage. I don't know. There was a stage where it gives you a real feeling of like validation. And I did feel quite proud of myself for a while. Because I put hours and hours and hours and hours into it. Into learning the craft. So I think that's where the woman that sort of ordered the 5 dogs came from. I'm utterly convinced it was one of our tittle tattlers, and I expect they've had I expect if I go over there and was to check, they've had a bloody good laugh about the silly bitch that thought she could paint. I don't know. That's that squirrel has been on meth, I reckon. I don't know. I'll put him away now. Yeah. So I guess the whole point I was making is that I just can't cope with I can't cope with it. I can't cope with the hating. I can cope with the love because we can all do with a bit of love, but I can't cope with the hating. Although that's probably me being back on YouTube is probably a bad thing in that case, but there we go. Why wouldn't you be proud of yourself? There's too much hate in the world. Need more self-love. Yeah, I know. So I'm going to paint for my own pleasure. I can't clearly keep them all, and there is part of me that thinks it would be sacrilege to burn them, bin them. So I don't know. Suggestions on a postcard, please. What to do with the glut of paper that I have amassing, because this was the pile that was up for sale, and now that I pulled the site down, the Etsy site down, I don't know what to do with it all. I really don't. There's just so many of them. There is so many of them. What's that? Oh, that's a dog. Another dog. Penguins. You name it, I've done it. Penguins, dogs, penguins, horse. What do you do with it all? There's so much time and energy and love gone into them. I don't know. Suggestions? What to do with them all? Anyway, right. I've gone on and 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 on. I do apologise for ranting and raving and talking general rubbish, as per. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Be there or be square. I must put a reminder in my phones so I don't forget. 7 p.m. and then maybe 7 p.m. Friday. I don't know. Ellie's off Friday, but I don't think that'll impact me because she'll be probably going out. So do you want me to try and put together some form of quiz for Friday or not? Let me know on Instagram or the Wilkes Family Facebook page, or comment on this or any of the vlogs. Right, I'm going to love and leave you. Thank you for your company this morning. It's been a cracking morning. I really enjoyed it. I've especially enjoyed catching up with Country Joe. It's been amazing to get back to talking to you, my darling. You are such a sweetheart. If you haven't followed Country Joe, get your ass over there and follow her because she is the bomb. Right, I am going to love and leave you. A quiz would be fun for Friday. Okay, that's two people say yes. I'll have to have a look at what sort of thing I can come up with for that. Then we'll have to self-market, and maybe the winner of the quiz can pick a watercolor of their choice and I will send it to you. How about that? Would that be good? Would that be a good prize? Actually, it might be a penalty, but you can pick or choose one of your own choosing. Or if you talk to me nicely, I might paint something specially for you. But no worries. Like, this chat might be finished by the next time you see him. Right, I'm going. I love you lots. I love you long time. 7 p.m. tomorrow. Country Joe wants that squirrel. There's going to be a fight over the squirrel. Isn't it funny, the ones that took me the least time? I can't even find him again now. I don't know where I shoved him. We're going to fight over the squirrel, people. Fight, 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 fight. No, I don't know what I did with him. I rammed him back in the hole. I don't know where he's gone. Right, I'm going now. I love you lots. I will see you tomorrow evening. Take care. Have a good day. And remember, things aren't always as they seem.